Over Mother's Day, Amber Heard welcomed 2 new children, twins. She posted about it on Instagram, and instantly all of the rumors about who the father might be started swirling, and my theory is that it's Elon Musk. Actually, a lot of people think that the father of her first child, her daughter Unog, is
Not
Elon.
Unog. Unog is the name?
I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
Is
an
it
Irish name.
Irish?
Is it
Una?
Una?
It's an Irish
It's just
name.
Una.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's Una.
Her daughter Una possibly was fathered by Elon Musk, and he definitely has more children than is publicly known, and she might be one of the baby mamas. I have said she is maybe the most well-behaved Elon Musk baby mama because she has never outed him or gone into detail about the situation. But she posted this on Instagram, a photo of her and the baby's feet, which is a little creepy. Mother's Day 2025 will be one I'll never forget. This year, I'm elated beyond words to celebrate the completion of the family I've strived to build for years. So the family is complete, just without a father. Today, I officially shared the
Something's
news
missing here.
that I welcomed twins into the Heard gang. My daughter Agnes and my son Ocean are keeping my hands and heart full. When I had my first baby girl, Una, 4 years ago, my world changed forever. I thought I couldn't possibly burst with more joy. Well, now I am bursting ×3, becoming a mother by myself and on my own terms, despite my fertility challenges, has been the most humbling experience of my life. I'm eternally grateful that I was able to choose this responsibility thoughtfully. To all the moms, wherever you are today and however you got here, my dream family and I are celebrating with you. Love always, A.
You know what I love is a $20 super chat, which we got here from Shane H. Wilder
Oh.
that we missed. At
I
the
didn't
beginning.
see that.
No, it's
Thank you,
because we
Shane.
had the technical difficulties at the beginning. That's my fault.
Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett, Mary, and Libby. KFC must be stopped. This month it's gravy ice cream. Last month it was fried chicken flavored toothpaste. They removed the plaque from fat teeth and put it in their arteries.
Yeah, I did post about this earlier.
Fat ass's teeth.
I assumed that it was some type of troll, and I guess it is. But, you know, the thing is that they have mastered the ability to make fake flavors taste exactly like what they're supposed to taste like.
I would definitely try gravy ice cream.
Oh, my God.
That's disgusting.
I would
So
totally
we've been
try
going-
The
that.
mac and cheese ice cream and
I would try that.
the pizza ice cream, disgusting.
Wow.
Mary's face.
Were they bad?
I would have loved to have
Yeah.
gotten a picture of Mary's face when she ate the mac and cheese ice
I
cream.
wish I'd known about this
Ugh.
because I would have tried it.
It was disgusting.
It was I didn't try it. She tried it. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
We've been going out
'Cause
for
you don't
a
hate
lot
yourself.
of yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
We've been going out for a lot
But I
of
would love
like
to try
ice
it.
cream on the weekends lately. And one place I will never be going for ice cream is KFC.
Yeah, no, never.
Like we go to Sweet Frog, we go to like Red Barn, which is over here. Never in my life have I ever woken up and thought I want some ice cream. Let's go to KFC.
I
No.
had some Rita's custard this weekend.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah.
Love
A nice
Rita's.
twist. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so people reported on this exclusively, and she has remained very private about her family life. But she's proud of the fact that she has crafted this family meticulously and on her own terms, which means without a father involved.
Well, in about
That's it.
15 years, when they all come out as trans and non-binary, we'll probably learn more about it because they'll hate her and they'll hate that they never had a dad and they'll expose everything.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how that ends up hurting her because she would be 100%
we'll-
on board.
We'll just know.
Well, because there will only be one possible culprit.
Yes.
It would be her.
Right.
I imagine that she does have help with raising the kids because she now has a 4-year-old and 2 babies. And I can't imagine that would be easy doing that as a single mother by choice. She probably has hired help.
A friend of mine who had that many kids, but also a husband, but also like a full-time job, she had round-the-clock nannies. They switched off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there were 3 of them, and they just worked round the clock.
But, like, it doesn't need to be like this, you know? There's no reason why you should, you know, plan to be a single mother. I mean, it happens to a lot of people, and it's generally considered as not the ideal situation. But Amber Heard has chosen this life for herself, which is psychotic, truly.
It is definitely psychotic.
It's not even self-interested because, as I said, it's incredibly challenging to choose to raise these children alone. But Also, of course, you're doing a major disservice to these children who didn't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
To be raised without any father figure, and she apparently doesn't think it's important to have one.
There's so many storylines in movies and television shows over the last 20 years of like the single professional woman who goes through IVF so that she can have kids later in life.
With a sperm donor?
Yeah, I mean, like they did it with House. They did it with Cuddy wanting a kid, and it ended up not working, and she ended up adopting. But it's definitely a storyline that's so common in America now, that the idea of raising kids without both parents, and there's also 25 to 30 years of like your parents are going to get divorced and everything sucks propaganda that went on when I was a kid, where all the stories were about what it's like to be a kid with newly divorced parents and stuff like that. So it's not even thought about anymore, and that's a little bit different, obviously, because you still have both parents, they're just not together. But I mean, how many Disney characters have one parent and definitely not both of them?
Well, there's a lot of widows and widowers in those Disney things.
Right.
Yes.
But also there's a lot of times that it's just totally unexplained. And you just sit
Yeah.
there wondering, like, where's the other parent? Where's the mom? And often, if they really want to make the kids sympathetic, they give them no mom.
Right. That's a strange thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? Usually in those TV shows, they don't have a mom
Yeah.
involved
Yeah.
specifically, and the story goes that their mom died of something. They can use it as a plot device later
Plus,
on in the
yeah.
show.
Dead mom, like widowed, like husband with a dead wife is more sympathetic somehow, I think, than wife with a dead husband.
Even husband, dad with a wife who ran off is more sympathetic than a mom with a
that was always very
dad
common
who
as well. And I think that's because
runs off.
when maybe this is just my own interpretation, but when I think of it, I think of like people hear about a woman whose husband dies or runs off, and they just imagine they're going to remarry. But there's more of a romanticization of the idea of the husband whose wife leaves and he never dates again, or his wife dies and he never dates again, and he focuses on the family because that was like his one true love.
But
like,
the other thing too is if a woman character does that, then everyone views her as like pathetic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the guy it's romantic. For
Yeah.
the woman it's pathetic.
It's like
Double
yeah,
standards.
it's totally a double standard.
Sucks to
But
be
yeah,
y'all.
I feel like I think it's a mistake to intentionally create a family with one parent missing.
Yeah.
Like we're manufacturing these half-made orphans. You see it with like gay couples who have surrogates and the child grows up without ever knowing anything about their mother. You see it in situations like this with sperm donors.
Yeah.
And it's like a vanity baby.
Right.
It's like, look at this. This is my prize. This is my trophy. I made it all by myself. Who cares how they feel? Who cares what their life is really going to be like internally without with this missing person in it?
Cynically, I'm thinking that when they do that in the storytelling, it's literally just because it costs less to have both parents. And
Probably,
you only
yes.
have to cast the husband, and it makes for manufactured drama that
Yes.
has emotional stakes, but not. So, okay, think of it like this: we have both parents and a child, and the parents argue, or the parents have something going on with the child. There's emotional stakes, and there's three people. Or you have a dead spouse. One living spouse and a child, and you have emotional stakes, and only two people. That's like way less money that you have to pay, and way less scenes you have to block.
More drama, less
Yeah.
expenses.
Also, then you don't have like the parents' relationship to deal with.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is always can be,
simplifies
yeah.
things.
And they want to
Be
end
a
up,
little much.
and then they want to move on, and they want to see if that person can end up dating someone else, and they start bringing in the parade of people to have him to have screen tests
like on
with.
The
and-
Nanny.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's all sorts of reasons why they do stuff like that, but also I imagine a lot of it was, and I talked to someone about this before, was like, I don't think that it's the same type of. I mean, you could talk about what you were talking about, which is like couples that use surrogacy and stuff like that. But if we're just talking about divorced parents and storytelling, a lot of it's just because a lot of these Hollywood writers probably came from families where that's what they knew, and then they're just writing about what they knew growing up, or how, at least maybe how they imagined it.
Right.
And I don't think that's necessarily predictive programming as much as it is them trying to like deal with their own trauma through their art. As
Well, that's what writers
much
are
as-
always trying to do, is like figure
Yeah.
out how to deal with their own childhood.
as
I
much
had a
as you
professor
wanna-
who said that one time, and she was like, I write plays to try and figure out what happened to me as a child.
Well, they always say that you can learn more about a writer from the work that they're making rather than the work itself, right? That it says more about what who the person is, what they decide to write about, and how they write.
Yeah.
So Amber Heard is also, now she doesn't have to worry about acting anymore if this is Elon's kid, because she's going to get
Right.
a nice stipend.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an Elon baby mama group chat with like her and
there
Ashley
should be.
Sinclair.
But
And-
there have to be multiple because they've formed factions.
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Some
How
of them
many-
hate
and
each
we
other.
don't even know how many there are.
We don't know the confirmed number either. Someone on Twitter asked Grok to tell them who is the father of Amber Heard's new babies, and it says there are unconfirmed rumors, including speculation about Elon Musk due to the past embryo-related claims from her 2022 defamation trial with Johnny Depp, but no credible evidence supports this. And it is true. I think there were even rumors Elon Musk was going to get called to testify in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial at the time, because he allegedly had knowledge of her claims against Johnny Depp at the time that they were dating. But she has not been in a public relationship for years at this point, and there's no way of really knowing who the father is.
The men have ran
It's
the other
sick,
way.
though, because a lot of children conceived by IVF with sperm donors are finding each other nowadays, and they can find out their batch number, and they've started Facebook groups to find each other, the ones who have the same sperm donor father, and
Yeah.
find information about him.
I wrote a play
And-
about that in
Really?
in 2008. It was
Wow,
called
before
like,
its time.
Yeah, and then like somebody did it as a movie, and I was like, screw you
Damn
guys.
it.
Like, I wrote this.
Yeah.
And we had a reading at Williamstown, and it was like, because it was a commission, and it was this whole, it was very cool, but it was called like I forget what the number was, but it was like the numbers RU 586 or whatever.
Whoa.
And it was, and eventually we performed like a really shorter version of it, but instead of like the full length. But it was about this kid who finds out that his dad's not really his dad, and that his mom got a sperm donor.
Yeah.
And then the marriage breaks up because the dad is like betrayed. And then he puts out like a, call for, he's like, it was before Ancestry and all that. So he starts like looking for people. He tries to track back through the sperm donor bank.
Right.
And then he has a big party for everybody to show up and like do a meet and greet. And it was staged in this bar downtown in New York, Bowery Poetry Club. And it was like, we had like 20 actors doing it, and all of them were kind of like a little awkward and weird, and they had like slight similarities.
Yeah.
And it was a fun project. But yeah, that's been going on for a
fascinating.
long time, because around that same time, like 2007, 2008, it was revealed that there was this one sperm donor
Right.
who had like,
Yes.
1,000 kids
Yeah.
or something. And it was really, everyone was super creeped out by it.
It is creepy. They're
creepy.
right to be creeped
Yeah.
out. This is a real thing, and a lot of times, some of the parents who pay for the sperm donor don't know all of the facts about who this person is, and they're falsely advertised as having different height or different, skin color, eye color, hair color, or professions are also listed for sperm donors as well. And then come to find out years down the line, they're not who they claim to be, and they have hundreds of children out there in the
Yes.
world that end up finding each other. And it's just, can you imagine having hundreds of half siblings just out there? Usually they're located in like the same general region too, because the parents who were buying from that specific donor lived in that region. So
Right.
you've just been like in the same town
Right.
as someone who's related to you that closely,
And
and
like,
you'd have no idea.
You might find out that you might end up in a relationship with them. And
Oh
not
yeah,
know.
that's
like,
a thing
that
too.
happens.
Just so disturbing. Yeah.
It's like Genghis Khan, but like sperm bank.
Mm-hmm.
Russell in the chat says X-Files clone children. Yes, that episode name was Eve. That was in season 1.
yeah.
With
Well,
all
they-
the kids from the in vitro fertilization clinic.
Those sperm donor babies, grow up and they have a lot to say about the industry and generally speaking, don't feel right about the way that they were conceived. And it's funny because then, you know, if you say anything negative about IVF or sperm donors or surrogacy or whatever, people will accuse you of being a heartless monster because you just don't understand people's reasons. But, you know, I think there are plenty of examples of people who were conceived through these methods that will happily, you know, talk about their ethical qualms with it, and they're within their right to do so.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.